This is Vintage, the first synthesizer plugin from Behringer. As the name suggests, this is a synthesizer that draws inspiration from analogs of old. It's free and the specs looks nice. Is Behringer on the verge of reshaping plugins as they did with hardware? Although it has the Behringer name on it, Vintage is not as much Behringer as one might think. It's actually created by an Italian company called Orastron. When it comes to synthesizers, I have a soft spot for the Italians. My first encounter with an Italian analog was with the Seal Opera 6, which I really liked. While the plugin itself is free, you have to register at the Music Tribe community to be able to start the synthesizer. I already had a login for Music Tribe, but when I tried to log in, I couldn't get past the login screen. A quick trip to Behringer's YouTube channel showed that I wasn't alone with problems getting the license. Web development is tricky, and I have all the respect in the world for people working on the web. But that being said, releasing anything on a Friday, well, that is a big rookie mistake. You just don't do that. After about 30 minutes, I managed to log in, I got my license, and I could finally get started. Technically speaking, Vintage is a synth based on the sound of non-specific old analog synthesizers. It's not based on samples, but coded oscillators. It's polyphonic, it has two oscillators with saw, square and sine. Pulse width modulation, unison, sync and sub-oscillators. There is a multimode filter with exotic stuff as formant and notch. Furthermore, there is drive, saturation, noise, envelopes and two LFOs. Pretty standard stuff. How does it sound? It sounds good. It has an authentic vintage tone. The filters have a whistling character when pushed that I liked. The unison can go really far. The feature I like the most about the Behringer Vintage is that the oscillators can be set to sine waves, and you have full control over the tuning of both oscillators. Well, if the synth would have had reverb and delay, I would have been completely satisfied. Sine waves and reverb, that's the perfect combination. The presets are alright, but I don't feel that they show what the synth is capable of. Again, not bad, but a bit too safe for my personal taste. Aesthetically, I don't know why anyone would like to have a synthesizer with chunks of black void around it, but that's what you get with the Behringer Vintage. Does it stand up to something like Diva or Repro? I know, it's a bit unfair for even asking the question. Diva cost 179 euros and Behringer Vintage is for free. But since Behringer said that they originally wanted to charge $99 for it, maybe that was just a marketing ploy, but no. Diva eats Behringer Vintage for breakfast without even the slightest digestive problem. Making sounds with Vintage is easy. After a few minutes playing around with the interface, you get the hang of it. I was going to create a small pack of sounds to show off what you can do with the Behringer Vintage, but after creating a couple of sounds, I discovered a bug that sent all my sounds to preset heaven. It looks like the sounds get saved, but they don't. My sounds are nowhere to be seen, and clicking on the Reveal preset folder in Finder didn't do anything for me. Maybe this is a bug specific to Macs, I don't know. But still, Behringer, please take note. This is the reason why you should never release a plugin on a Friday. Well, maybe not the smoothest release for Behringer's first software synthesizer, but I'm sure they will sort out the bugs eventually. All in all, Behringer Vintage doesn't do anything we haven't seen before, but it's a competent synth in its own right. It sounds good, and you can do some interesting stuff with it. And, well, it is for free. Would Behringer Vintage been worth $99? No, absolutely not. For $100 you would get two synths from Cherry Audio, and I feel they are sonically in the same territory.